Good hello. I was going to say good morning.
Good hello.
Good hello. This is a good either good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. And we're having fabulous sunshine at the moment.
That's why I should put my shades on. Oh, they're over there.
Well, you know what? We had fabulous sunshine when we started the tour on the 27th of March, and today is the last day of the tour.
I know, it's the last
and it's still sunshine.
I know.
But welcome to Conversations with the George Michael Singers, and today it's Conversations with the lovely Lea Mullen.
Hello, everybody.
I was just saying to Lee that I asked Michael Brown last week a load of questions, and I was going to specifically try and remember what I asked him so we could emulate.
Emulate
is the word.
That is the
That's the word of the day.
But I can't remember any questions, so we're going to have this as like a kind of organic process now.
Yeah. Story of my life, really.
Lee, how are you?
I'm extremely well, considering I've travelled all the way here from Manchester. I feel refreshed and ready for the show.
Yeah.
Always.
Honestly, we just it's just so lovely to have so many George Michael band members on our tour. I mean, we couldn't get everybody, but we've got the key players.
Well,
and you're one of them.
Well, I mean, I feel very privileged and to another opportunity to play these amazing songs, even though, unfortunately, when the boss, which obviously everybody calls him the boss, when he passed, I couldn't listen to his music for at least 12 months.
Yeah.
And now I find it therapeutic rather than, especially around with the people that were around him all the time. You know.
It's funny. We were saying that.
It's amazing.
We were saying that. Well, I mean, I haven't only until sort of just when we did the Christmas show.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we had to listen to the songs because we had to learn the songs and everything.
Yeah.
But up until that point, I literally hadn't listened to any George Michael music apart from when we were on tour together about a year and a half ago. We started talking about George because obviously we were working together, and we were unpacking all these memories, which is why this incredible show has now been put together. And it's just, and so I feel like you. It feels like it's a bit of a healing process.
Yeah,
really
It really is. I'm really looking forward to the shows. You know.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed, and thank you very much for asking me along because obviously Danny was always his main percussionist, and obviously with him since Wham, and I was very privileged to take over the latter shows that. On 25 Live and then Symphonica.
Yeah.
So we did. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, what would George say to you at the end of the
tour? At the end of the tour, we did Earl's Court. I think we did 4 nights at Earl's Court, and there was a party at the back. And of course, George didn't really. I know I'm boiling.
I know. I'm going to put the aircon on. Sorry, I'm listening.
Sorry, I'm very shiny.
I'm going to just put this on. Sorry.
That's all right. So basically, George came over to me and said, "It's been lovely having you along on the shows," and he said, we'll work together again. Don't worry, we'll work together. I'll be in touch very soon. And I feel as if this is the opportunity to work together again with him.
Yeah, even though he's obviously sadly not here, but I do feel he is totally here in spirit. Did you see that thing that? Who put
I
that up on
posted
Facebook?
it.
It's amazing.
Did a fan send it?
Did you see
you
it?
see it?
There was a clear, and it literally looked like a dove.
Yeah, it did. If you actually look at it carefully, it starts off with an orb,
like a dove.
but as it moves, it looks like a dove.
Can I be honest?
Go on.
Really honest. That was really weird because I don't really believe in that kind of stuff. But there's definitely been. You feel an aura when we're on stage playing this music.
That's what it is.
And I think it's definitely. I'm quite spiritual, and I think that when we do, there is a healing process that is for us all when we do actually. I mean, I'll make no. I mean, I've been very lucky. I've played with, in my career, I played with Sister Sledge. I played with the Jacksons, and
I was going to ask
but I'll be really honest with you. There was nothing like playing those last 72 shows. On the last Symphonica tour. I mean, it was amazing to do 25 Live.
Which I didn't get to do.
It was amazing to do 25 Live, especially because I came in and felt very welcomed straight away, and by the whole entourage and everybody in the band. And then the next thing is I did 3 weeks rehearsals, and then I was in America. We were in LA. We were straight in LA, and first show in San Diego. That was my first
I
show
remember that.
with George. Yeah, that was my first show.
So Lee, just so the people, whoever's watching or listening, what's your backstory? So how did you get into music? How did you get into playing percussion? How did you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay.
And then we'll talk a bit more about George.
Okay, very very briefly. I was really I started out as a drum kit player, and I went to a music college in Manchester, and I became friends with all the kit players, and I played a little bit of percussion, and from an early age played some congas, and basically a guy mentored me called Max Beasley Senior.
I've met him.
Yeah,
I've met him.
Yeah.
I've met him.
So he mentored me, and I knew the family, and I became very close to Max. I still see him on a regular basis. Still see Max Senior all the time, and he's sort of like my second father, really, but certainly my musical father. And he's an amazing drummer and percussionist and a comedian, and he's done lots of acting as well. And
so how old were you when you sort of started drumming?
When I started playing drums, I was around 13.
13, and then you naturally went into percussion, or you just.
The weird thing was a lot of my drummer friends all said to me, "Can you come and do some? Can you come and play percussion with us with the bands that was playing in?" So I ended up known as a percussionist more than a drummer.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
And this is Jay whilst we're filming. Eating
a pizza.
singing.
Yeah. Eating a pizza. Love it.
Did you turn back the escalator?
That's
We're not
coming
getting
up.
we haven't got there yet.
Sorry.
We get so that.
I wasn't going to, but
No,
now.
you have to.
Yeah, now I have to.
I'm gonna. Okay, well, let's just say it now. Give me a tour story. Give me a couple of tour stories. Let's start with that one.
Well, certainly the tour.
George Michael tour stories.
Well,
these two are a nightmare. These two,
Yeah.
these two together.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
It's like
I don't like the way he's actually sat behind me. I mean, as if he could give me a smack on the back of the head at any time. No, me, Jay, and Lincoln got on very well, obviously, and it's probably my fault he decided to start drinking rum. Because before that, it's all there.
Rum.
Yeah, because I brought a bottle of rum on the bus on Symphonica, so
I didn't used to drink.
he didn't used to drink, him and Lincoln said, you actually said no, and he was like, after a couple of shows, you were like, oh, go on then, I will try it, and you were like, actually, do you know what? It's not too bad, this.
Then we had a bottle every day.
Before we knew it, the whole fridge was full of it. Before we knew it, the whole fridge. One of the stories that I remember very, very quickly with Jay was, there's so many in George's band that you could actually go a week without actually speaking to somebody. You really could, And if you didn't want to see somebody, you could easily hide away from him. The only time you see him was on stage. But there were so many people
We know
on
about
stage.
that, though, right?
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
So with Jay, we always used to bump into each other, or knock a drink out of his hand, or something had happened in rehearsals. But the big one really was I can't remember. We were in Houston.
I don't know where we was.
I think we were in Houston in the airport, and
I'm not crazy about lifts.
yeah, and we were really And the thing is, everybody was waiting for lifts, and me and Jay.
So you were in an airport. Were you?
In an airport,
airport.
yeah. And there was quite a few aerostesses around us, weren't there, at the time? Just got off long haul flights.
So were you a little bit distracted? Were you following the air hostess?
Not at all.
He was following me.
They were following us. They were behind
right,
us.
yes,
They were
of course
behind
they
us.
were.
And you'll know why in a minute. And then we decided, no, let's not go with everybody else that are all going, and the tour manager,
Sensibly.
Sharon
Let's be
Ashley,
different.
who's going towards a lift. What we'll do is we'll go on the escalator. We'll show them. We'll get downstairs
Remember,
before
we
them.
had the
We had all the trolleys.
with
We had the
3
trolleys.
bags.
Yeah, great.
What you put
Tall
up
trolleys.
an escalator?
Yeah.
No, down.
Down.
You put a trolley on.
yeah.
You're
It was
going up.
supposed to put trolleys on
Are you
escalators.
sure?
No,
Going
it was
up.
going
It's
down. It was going down.
Because I thought
Was it
how
going
big
down?
you are and how muscly you
No.
are, you'll be able to hold it.
Yes,
Yeah, it
that's
was.
what happens at
And
the
then
end.
all the bags came off.
On the top.
Oh.
Because
it
he
blocked
thought
out.
he was going to be able
Yeah.
to push it over
Yeah.
the line.
But when I pushed it, My front case went and it blocked me off.
And then my cases went.
The worst one was, right, we saw the air hostess, she was at the bottom, and we were just moving in one direction because we had to still move.
No, she was coming down towards us. She was screaming and trying to run up the escalator as it was going down. She was going, ah! And me and you were there, like, trying to climb over the cases.
And I came out of the lift.
Yeah.
Came out of the lift here, and I looked to my left, and these two are like clambering over the cases, and I just went, mate, you're on your own. I just walked away.
You didn't even help.
No, she just laughed and just walked
That
off.
was just.
I was
that was
so
just,
hot. I was like, oh my
It was
God,
him
what have
first,
we
and
done?
then Lee
Oh,
over
it's
all
terrible.
the cases,
And
the
the worst thing
poor
was the air hostess
running
was looking at
up
us
the
and she was like, what are you guys doing?
They screamed. They actually screamed.
She screamed.
No. Well, you would think because they're so heavy that obviously, and then all the luggage just went. So when you're even at the bottom, there's nothing to move. The luggage is just there. On the bottom.
It was just spinning because it went across. And it was
But
like,
these two together,
Oh,
literally,
forget it,
They
I know.
need to stay away from each other.
I know, yeah, we do.
Disaster will happen.
We do.
Is there any other like story that sticks out, like on stage or performance with George? Was there any like one particular?
There is
performance
one
that really
actually.
sticks
Yeah,
out?
there is one. A big one. So what happened on the last tour, Sinfonica? We opened up with this amazing track called Through, and it was really well orchestrated, and there was a red curtain around. So the red curtain didn't actually open until the last vocal thing.
Yeah.
And then the curtain came round, and then you saw the orchestra, and then we started. I think we started the next track, and George walked down the stairs in the middle, and what he always did was Ken Watts. The late Ken Watts, bless his soul, came up the stairs with George always had a torch like that, even though it was quite well lit up. And I always used to sit because I had a tasset, so I'd sit and I'd lean on my bass drum. And in the Copenhagen one, which was the start of the tour in Herning, I was lay like this, and I was like this, and I was going. And all of a sudden I felt eyes on me, and I was like, and I looked over. And he was adjusting his ear pack, George, and he's looking at me and he was like this. And I was like, I was like this.
Why were you doing that?
I was like this because all the singers were in front of me. I was at the back.
But why were you doing that?
Don't know. I was just like
like-
daydreaming. Because I had a whole song that I had to be in position.
Oh, okay.
But because I was then on stage, but I didn't.
But we
so I
were
was sat
standing
there.
in front
I was sat there like. So the best one of that, still the same thing. We were doing a gig in at the Royal Albert Hall. So he comes up. It was a smaller stage. He comes up and there's a walk round, and I'm sat there like this. And I don't know anybody who sort of knows stories about George knew that he always used to suck fishermen's friends.
Yeah.
So what he did,
Sorry for another
yeah. So what he did was he came up up the stairs. And he went and threw it, and it hit me on the head. He just threw it at the side of me, and it hit me on the head.
He said, wake up, wake up.
And I went like that, and he went like that. Remember that? He was
Imagine
looking,
if your mouth
remember
was
that?
open.
And he just went.
I bet you've never watched that part of your forehead.
No, I have. Yeah. One of the funniest ones on 25 Live, and I'll tell you now, I wasn't. Look, a lot of the bands I've played in, they've all been quite rock and roll bands before, you know, like with Happy Mondays and things, and there's never really been any sort of, not dance routine, but obviously 25 Live, the percussionist role, you had to come downstairs on certain songs, and like Too Funky, Faith, a couple of other songs, I had to come to the front and play congas at the front of the stage. So the first time, I remember Jay and Shirley turning around to me and going, and Lucy going, it's okay, just, or you're not dancing, all you do is move the same way as we do when we're playing, like this. So of course, I go down there and I start moving. Of course, everybody's moving a different direction, and it's just totally not right. And I just thought to myself, I might get sacked here because I might have been all right in rehearsals and everything, but now they've seen me actually on stage. First of all, it's a right trek getting up and down them stairs. So to be fair play to Danny for him getting up and down them stairs all the time. I did miss my steps a couple of times, fall over. It didn't matter because it was in the dark. But Kev Bell, my old tech, did see me fall over a few times. I didn't.
SAS training.
It was SAS. Well, we were in that one. We couldn't talk about it too much. We were in the SAS together.
Anyway, let's not
going back to the Happy. So you worked with the Happy Mondays.
I did work with the Happy
Mondays.
Mondays.
Did George ask you something about Happy Mondays?
He did. So
is that when you first started working? Was it? Because I remember talking to you about that story.
So what happened was I got a desk recording from rehearsals that was sent to me to come and audition for George, and through me working with Ken Watts before for FM Productions and Lisa Johnson. And basically I felt very, very privileged to have first of all been asked, and then MD at the time, Chris Cameron, I'd already worked with Chris. So I came along and they thought stupidly that I might be the right person to take on to do the tour. Little did they know. And so anyway, we did that. I stayed at the Marriott in Swiss Cottage, where we stayed a lot, where we knew all the bar staff. Not saying that we had a drink problem, but we knew them. And we stayed there for months at a time. Sometimes, wouldn't we? We'd stay there a long time. And we were really well looked after. And the first day I got there on a Sunday morning, went straight to our studios, set up all my gear. The band weren't even coming in till Tuesday, right. So I was like, I set up all my gear and met the backline guys who were in there, Gary Bradshaw and Simon and everybody that was doing the R&As, and they basically said to me, "I'll see you tomorrow." So I went in there the day after, which was the Monday, 11 o'clock sharp at start. But I got an email just before on the train, and I got an email to say the songs that you'll be doing are My Mother Had a Brother, Precious Box, Freedom 90, and Careless Whisper. Right. So I was like, wow. Those two songs, the first two songs were obviously off the Patience album, and which were both fantastic songs. And for anybody who's a George Michael fan, would love those songs and know those songs. And the weird thing was for me was the reason why I got asked to do those, which I found out afterwards, was because it was always a tacit on percussion. So a tacit. So basically they didn't play.
Oh right.
So they didn't play. So what George wanted me to do was see what I'd come up with on those tracks.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I think there's like when the drum loop starts without getting too technical, when the drums come in on Mother Had a Brother, there's like a hypnotic conga loop, electronic conga loop that comes in. So I tried to emulate that and play along with it, because I thought to myself, if I can play that along with it, then and I don't go out of time with it, then that will work. With Precious Box, I emulated some of the vocal things. So when he sang Precious Box, I just tried to light that up by hitting chime at the same time. But when I got there, Gary Bradshaw was like, "What are you going to play on Precious Box? And what are you going?" And we started the track, and I started playing what I felt. And as I started playing it, I turned around and I saw Gary Bradshaw, and he was smiling. So I thought, I must be doing something right. Yeah. And he was like nodding and smiling. And I was like, because they were in little booths, all the sound guys. And then obviously Freedom 90 is obviously an iconic percussion piece that the great Danny played, and Careless Whisper. So obviously I knew those anyway. I knew I could play those anyway. So, but it was amazing to play them. And then halfway through the day, I just thought they were like, okay, there was lots of discussion going on. I felt really comfortable, and then I went in and had a coffee, came back, and then they said, okay, we'll do it again. So I said, okay, great, put my ears in, started again, waited to the track, and then the door opened, and then George came in. And I thought, wow, George, I didn't think George was going to be in till the day after, or with the band, and he came in and he said, "Hiya, George, really nice to meet you." And I felt like saying, "I know who you are." And I went, "Lee," and he said, "It sounds fantastic." And he went, "Can I ask you something?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he went, "What was it like being on tour with the Happy Mondays?" And I said, and I thought, wow, he must have even read my CV. And I was like, it was interesting.
Oh, and here's
Very
our next
interesting.
victim.
So then you told him all some of the stories to you about.
I did tell him lots of the stories.
Okay, we're not going to tell you those.
No,
That's
one of the other
we
things.
can do it another day.
One of the other things that he did, he summoned me to his room, which was this was the way he was. He was such he had so much empathy and so much respect for people that which is really hard, really, because he was such a lovely person, you know, and of course I didn't know him like you knew him, and I knew him on a working capacity, but I'm really good judge of character, and I know when somebody's what people
and
are
someone's
like.
genuine too.
Yeah. And the really weird thing was with me was when I didn't realise, but when we did 25 Live, is everybody assigned, they knew that there was going to be a DVD at the end of it, at Earl's Court, and I knew at the end of it I hadn't been asked to do the DVD live in London. I knew because I knew I wasn't doing it. Yeah. Are you on DVD? You nearly dropped your phone then, didn't you? Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
DVD.
are you on the DVD? Yeah. So anyway, what happened was we got halfway through the tour, and then I got summoned to George's dressing room, and he said, Lee, how are you doing? I said, yeah, I'm doing really well. He went, are you enjoying it? And he always wanted to know if I was okay. He always wanted to know if I was being treated all right, which is amazing, you know. And no. Yeah, another one like that.
Involved in this one.
So apart from that, I always said, because I'd like not to be anywhere near Jane, but that was but he did say to me, he did actually say to me, how would you feel about playing on the DVD? And I went, well, Danny's doing it. And he went, well, do you think Danny could do one night and you could do the other night? And I went, well, I don't want to get involved in that. Basically, you know, that is really, you know, and he went, don't worry about it, I'll sort it out. He went, because he said, I really want you to be involved in that.
Isn't it how lovely, isn't it? You
I know.
want him to be in it as well.
I know. He said, I really appreciate you doing the gigs in America with us. And I was like, well, it's been a right chore. You know what I mean?
Do you know what?
Playing in Vegas and, you know,
it just shows how I didn't know, it wasn't until Shirley told me that he was waiting for me right until the last minute. Which tour was it?
It was
25 Live.
Yeah.
He was waiting for me literally right to the last
Because
minute.
we were just going out, we thought it's just going to be us.
I was trying to get
Yeah.
my contract with Robbie, and it wasn't until Shirley said, you know, he literally waited right until the last minute, 5 days before the actual tour, which I just like, I didn't know that. I mean, that's the kind of guy that he's so loyal,
He was.
so lovely,
That was
just
amazing, though.
kind and just generous of spirit.
And the other band members at the time, I knew anyway because of how long people had been working with him.
Lovely.
And of course Phil Palmer and everybody had been, and Andy had been, and everybody had been working with him forever, you know, as well as you. Then that's testament to him, because there's no way in the music business that people are that loyal to. There isn't.
It's very rare. I mean, there are some.
Yeah.
There are some.
There are some. But
it's very rare.
I can't think of any another artist that's used the same singers throughout his whole career.
25 years. I mean,
it's a long time.
He also got me in the room when we were in Europe on Symphonica, and said to me, "You know Ian Brown, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." He went, "Can you ring him?" And I went, "What now?" And he said, "Yeah, will you ring Ian?" I went, "Okay." So I went, "Ian." And I went, "Yeah." He went, "Yeah." And I went, "Hey mate." He went, "All right, Lee, how's it going?" You know, I was like, "Yeah, all right. What are you up to?" I'm like, "What have you rang me for?" And I was like, "Well, you won't believe this. I'm with George Michael." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever." I know, no, I'm with George Michael, wants to speak to you. And it was like, it's a real life. So anyway, George said, "Is that Ian?" "Yeah, I just want to say I'm a massive fan." And I'm like, "Really? Well, I should be videoing this."
Oh my God.
Do you mind, you'll remember this, you'll all remember it, do you mind if we do Fear on the gigs?
Yes. Yes.
You'll know, because you sang it.
Yeah,
if we do Fear, because I've always been a massive fan of that song. So Ian Brown said to George, I wish I'd have known that, because you could have had the song and I could have just sat next to a pool in Barbados. That's what he actually said. It was brilliant. I was on so anyway, and then Ian came to the arena show with his sister. Got married, by the way, by people, but had to leave a bit earlier. It was. That's why we did that.
Just really quick, I'm going to just finish off with two more questions.
Cool.
What's your favourite George Michael song? I know this is so hard to answer because I hate being asked it, but could you pick out one or two, or
I could pick out a couple. I think that I'm really, I'm really one of those people that I love the tracks when they've actually written their own songs. I love the version of I Can't Make You Love Me on the MTV Unplugged.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
That is just, honestly, that was just unbelievably good.
Yeah.
The other one, I have to say this because this was my father's favourite, and he passed away the same year as George, was The Long and Winding Road. He did a version of that on the Prince's Trust. Was unbelievable. But my favourite song of him that he did was you played on it.
Oh, come on, Lee, you must know.
You sang on it.
A Moment With You.
Thank you. There you go.
Oh, wow.
A Moment With You.
Did you play on that?
Oh, you sure?
Are you
sure you didn't play on that?
I don't know, I might have done.
I reckon
I
it's.
actually don't remember.
I bet you did.
A lot of stuff.
I have
I bet you
a
did.
beautiful story about that, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
But
it
that-
'cause
but
it's
this-
about you.
What about me
that-
pretending
but-
to be on stuff I'm not?
That
No,
track.
about a moment with you in the studio with George.
A moment with you is just everything about it. I love that track,
It's a great song.
and it's I just really feel as if it's one of those songs that he did a double album, the Ladies and Gentlemen, and then that just ended up on it because he wanted to fill and put another track on it, and I think it deserved much more credit.
Yeah, I
than that.
totally agree.
So
It's one of the
I
less
love that
Maybe
track.
one day we'll do that.
Yeah, it's an amazing song. Really enjoy
and
that
just
song.
really quickly, just to end this, what does this actually mean to you? Actually doing this whole process and getting us all back together and just what does it mean?
Well,
to
to
you?
be
How
honest
do
with you,
feel?
I didn't think it would ever happen again after Cowboys and Angels because with that felt like it didn't really feel like closure though. I mean, but it was still quite raw.
For no one who knows that we did a gig in 2019 called Cowboys and Angels. That was
Just
a
before COVID, right?
Yeah, a year after he passed. I mean, the fans were screaming for something.
For his birthday.
So it was for his birthday. So that was in 2019.
But it didn't feel like it. Still felt really raw, and I think this really is a celebration of his music, and it's all done totally the right way, regardless of whether I'm doing it or not. It just is. It's a great
Well,
show
you won't
with
be
great
on the
musicians.
DVD, just so
Definitely
you know.
not.
You're not on the DVD.
Lee Mullen, everybody.
Mullen.
Absolutely. Thank you.
See you in the folklore.
Yeah, thanks.